In Canada, you pay tax when you earn, you pay tax when you spend, you pay tax when you save, and when you die, they still take their cut. This isn't just a system, it's a trap. Today we're exposing the truth. Tax is the real cost of living in Canada.
Canadians are paying 46% of their paycheck in federal tax.
Canada is in such bad shape. I mean, even compared to all the G7 countries.
Salary after paying income tax, tax, not sure what that is.
Reality is, in Canada, income tax has become a scam.
We get taxed on everything here. There's even tax on a grocery bag.
How many countries collect taxes from their own citizens and give it to Canada?
Canadians pay more in taxes than they spend on housing, clothing, and food combined.
I'm so sick to death of being taxed to death.
Canadians are officially paying more in taxes.
Actually, I'm asking on behalf of all fucking Canadians in this god-forsaken fucking country.
You're at $23,000 of taxes annually.
Welcome to Canadian Rant, the channel where we talk about what every Canadian is thinking, but no one in power wants to hear. Let's be honest, we live in one of the highest taxed countries on earth. Every dollar you earn, every item you buy, every home you own, the government has their hand in it. You pay income tax, property tax, sales tax, gas tax, carbon tax, interest tax, and soon whatever new tax they can think of. They say it's for the greater good. They say it helps society. But tell me, what good is it when families can't afford food, when the middle class is vanishing, and when we're drowning in debt just to keep up with rising costs? The reality is simple. The more we pay, the less we live. And here's the cruelest part. Even after you've worked your whole life, even after paying taxes your entire career, when you die, the government still takes a piece of your legacy. Canadians aren't just taxed on income, we're taxed on existence. So today, we're breaking it down. What's really behind Canada's endless tax machine, and how it's quietly bleeding everyday people dry. Before we dive in, if you believe Canadians deserve better, subscribe, hit the bell, and share your voice.
Canadians are paying 46% of their paycheck in federal taxes. I just want to break this down for you, Minister. I'm sure you know this. But people are writing to me and they don't even have an incentive to go to work or work overtime. So if you're making $100,000, which used to be so much money, people have never made more money and been less poor because we have the worst economic growth per person in the G7. This hasn't happened since the Great Depression. And you take on an extra $30,000 of overtime. I'm just going to put this into context for people. So if you go and you make $130,000 in overtime, you're going to pay $22,000 in federal tax. So now you've destroyed their purpose because you've demoralized them by hiring outside consultants, and you're taking away their incentive to go to work with their paycheck.
I would expect to pay more taxes than I would in the States because I think we've got a better country. You now pay 53.5% of your dollar to government. I don't care what you make. If there is some point where right off the top, the government gets more than you, that's just wrong. Because that 46.5% that I get then on those last dollars, I now go to the store and spend it, I pay tax. Put gas in my vehicle, I pay a tax. Invest it and make some more money on it, I pay tax. If I die and leave it to my kids, they pay tax. So it's not just losing half, it's losing half or slightly more than half immediately, but then they're not done.
They took 42% of your income in taxes and still managed to run a $6.5 billion deficit in 2 months. Billions. That's your money, your grocery money, your mortgage money, your rent money. Hey, Mr. Carney, where's the money? Where's our money? Tag your province if you're absolutely fed up with this and go watch the full breakdown. You'll see the video link down here. You need to see this. We break it all down unfiltered.
Here's a quick rundown of all the taxes we pay. Income tax, GST, HST, if you own a small business, corporate tax, capital gains tax, and believe me, the worst one of all is the inflation tax. You just don't see it. But when the government overspends or they print out too much money, any cash that you have in the bank or on hand is getting destroyed. property tax, excise tax, air conditioning tax, land transfer tax, carbon tax, any sort of tariffs, customs and duties, that's a tax. Airport security tax, hotel taxes. Let's not forget the airport security and other taxes associated to travel. Health and education tax, payroll taxes. Let's not forget the luxury tax. And there's the death tax. Yeah, when you die, your estate, it's going to get charged a tax. Isn't there some sort of a battery tax too? Tax after tax after tax after tax. The majority of it is with your after-tax dollars.
Oftentimes people are going to say, yeah, but it's only the rich that get taxed so much.
That's not true.
I decided to break it down. The median income in Canada is $55,000. From that $55,000, you're going to have a combined provincial and federal income tax in Ontario here of $11,500. From there, you're going to pay $4,000 in CPP and EI, so Canadian Pension Plan and Employment Insurance. On top of that, we're in Canada. Most people have a car and need to drive. Gas, and this one blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. The minimum tax on fuel is 37 cents per liter. That includes excise taxes, both federal and provincial. Montreal has a 3 cent for public transport. Then you have QST and GST. Roughly, that's an extra $1,000 a year that you pay in taxes just on gas. And then on top of that, property taxes.
It's about 1% of the purchase price.
Right there, you're at $23,000 of taxes annually. So it gives you remaining $32,000 in your pocket. But wait, that's not your purchasing power quite yet. Because on top of that, that's going to be subjected to 13 to 15% sales tax. You're left at the end with $27,000 of purchasing power. That is less than half of your income.
Imagine, if you will, a gang of organized crime comes to your door and says, we're going to be here every single week to collect 50% of your income, and there's nothing you can do about it. Try and say no. We're going to do whatever we want with it. We're going to launder it, buy drugs, whatever. None of your business. It would be illegal, right? That would be a crime. So why is it that they just slap a liberal government or conservative government or whatever Canadian government is in power at the time on it, and it's all of a sudden legal? It's okay for them to take half of our money and we have zero say where it goes, and we have to just pay up, or else we face jail time or whatever they decide. I'm so sick to death of being taxed to death on every single thing. Canada, there are places that don't even charge income tax. Why are we living here?
I paid a tax bill of $120,000. That was for my business. And that was just one category of tax. That was the tax that I have to charge on my products to pass on to the government. It's why everything's so expensive. GST, HST, federal tax, sales tax, all that stuff. That's not even including the tax that they then take from my business. So I pay that tax to them. Then they tax my business on whatever profit we have. Then they tax me on me paying myself from my business. So that's like 3 levels right there. That doesn't include property tax, house tax, municipal tax, carbon tax. I don't even know all the kinds of tax. I just pay the money. It's like paying money. And this is why business owners are so fucking done with the Liberals, because whatever they yap about, blah, 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 social programs, inclusion, Trump, all they want to do is tax you up the ass. And so we're done with that.
In the past 9 years, income tax revenue has jumped by 64%. Public spending has increased by 60%, and our national debt has ballooned by 93%. These aren't just numbers. They reflect a government that has abandoned responsible governance. It's wild. Compared to the Harper era alone, the Trudeau government has increased per capita income taxes by 36%, per capita government spending by 26%, and per capita government debt by 45%. The bottom line here is that Canadians are paying more and getting less. In fact, even with sky-high prices across all sectors of the market, including rental costs and mortgages, Canadians spend more on taxes than they do on food, shelter, and clothing combined. Under Trudeau, the economic pie is shrinking while the government's appetite keeps growing. We're heading towards a future where we produce less and the government takes bigger bites of what remains. As taxes rise beyond oppressive levels, talented individuals are losing their incentive to stay. I mean, after all, why would anyone stay in a country where their hard-earned slice of the pie continues to get smaller and smaller while their quality of life is in free fall? And as skilled workers and entrepreneurs leave, they take the engine of economic growth with them, leaving behind an even smaller pie for everyone else. We're on track to becoming an economic wasteland, a place where private innovation is stifled and government handouts are the only way to get by. instead of prosperity will face stagnation, dependence, and a cycle of taxation that punishes success and discourages ambition. Our country is a corporation, and a corporation operates effectively when it has sustainable revenue streams, and this is not sustainable. And we're not only going bankrupt, all of our capable producers are leaving the company. There's a saying that I love that comes from Simon Sinek: leaders eat last. Our political leaders should prioritize creating opportunities for everyone in this country before they feed themselves. Instead, we have politicians content with taking more for themselves while leaving less for the people they claim to represent. If Canada wants a chance at a prosperous future, we need leaders committed to expanding opportunities across this country, or the Canadian nightmare will never end.
A huge reason why Canada is in the predicament that it is in is that people, its citizens, do not know how much they're paying in taxes or how bad the situation really is. Canadians are officially paying more in taxes, so paying money to the government, than they are on their own food, clothing, and shelter. Let that sink in. The average Canadian is paying 43% taxes. That is nearly 6 months that you are working for free for the government. That was a huge wake-up call for my husband and I. Then on top of that, every time you go out to buy something, you're paying taxes on that. So really, when you think about it, you're paying 70% of the money that you earn on taxes. I had several comments on my page when I posted that some Canadians are paying 50% or over in taxes. These are the type of comments that I got. Here's the actual truth. So no, you don't have to be making $1 million to be paying 53% in taxes. Canada has a massive problem. Well, actually, Canada has several massive problems, but one of the biggest ones is a tax problem. Okay, so here we look at most families overall are paying about 42.3% in taxes. That includes federal and provincial. The more money that you make, the higher taxes that you pay. But it also depends on where you live. So as you can see, as we get to the bottom, the provinces that pay the most provincial taxes are British Columbia and Ontario, which are about 15%. So federal tax can be about 33, 35, and then your provincial tax is 15%. So on average, many middle class or upper middle class families are paying over 50% of their wages in taxes. Then you go out and you buy things. You buy groceries, you buy gas for your car, anything that you buy, there's more taxes for that. We were paying this magical carbon tax that has temporarily, and I say temporarily because definitely our government is going to put it back in, but it was to save the environment, which is a joke, but that was also another tax that was on, that Canada was having to pay. Then when you die and your relatives inherit your property, your children or whatever, they then have to pay more taxes. When you look at the overall taxes that many Canadians are paying, it's over 50%. That is a problem. That indicates that the country is in major shambles. If you are paying over 50% of the money that you make to the government, somebody else is getting it. Guess what that's called? Slavery. We are essentially slaves in our own country if we are paying over 50%, which our family was. We've since left Canada, but that is ridiculous. And the worst thing is that most Canadians either don't know, don't care, or they just go along with it and say,
how many countries collect taxes from their own citizens and give it to Canada? We need to start normalizing taking care of ourselves and putting Canada first. We need to stop worrying about the world's problems and stop trying to be the world police. We also need to stop trying to interfere in international politics when we have so many significant problems of our own. We need better healthcare. We need more doctors. We need more hospitals. We need to stop crime. We need to minimize immigration. We need to lower our taxes and the cost of living. Why are we taxed as though we are tax donkeys and we're living in a tax farm in order to help the rest of the world when we are literally bankrupt? Mark Carney right now is on a path to outdo Justin Trudeau and make Trudeau look cheap, which is absolutely insane when you consider the fact that Justin Trudeau added more debt to our country than every single prime minister combined in history. Mark Carney is currently on a path to outdo Trudeau. So again, I ask you, how many countries are taxing their citizens to give us money and help our country? Do you see my point? The madness needs to stop. We cannot be the world's charity. We cannot afford it. We are on a downward spiral. Guys, it doesn't matter what part of the political spectrum you fall under. This is logic. Crime doesn't care who you voted for. They're gonna get you. When you need healthcare, guess what? It doesn't matter who you voted for, just that you need it. So why on earth would anyone support a party that is doing the reverse of what we need? Think about these things logically, please.
All right, I think I'm going to start calling these ones another episode of Are We Okay Here? Like, seriously. So I'm standing in line at the grocery store. Go figure, right? Yeah, I don't want to tell you the prices. I'm not going to fucking get into that. But long story short, I'm in line, and I hear the cashier say that, oh, like, you know, like, if you want this bag, like, it's 35 cents. Well, really 40 cents because there's tax. And, like, shook our head and we're like, there's tax on the fucking grocery bag too? So, like, we kind of just had a chuckle. We're like, okay, there's like, you get a grocery bag and there's even tax on a grocery bag. Can I get a bag, please? Yeah, 35 cents plus tax on that too. So about all the fucking things that we get taxed on around here, okay? Because we get taxed on everything here. There's even tax on a grocery bag. It's like, I looked at this older lady and I was like, what are we doing here? And then she's like, you know what? Can I tell you that I just came from Sweden and they do everything so different over there. Everything's so chill. All the food is so natural. There's no processed crap. Everyone's relaxed. No one's stressed. And there's like none of this crap that we see and live by here. It's so opposite. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, go figure, eh? Like, anyways, I don't know. Is it a big deal? It's like deeper than that, you know? Tax this, tax this, tax this, tax on top of this. Can I get a grocery bag? Yeah, tax on that too. Oh! Wake up! That's it for today. Fuck it. Are we okay here?
All right, guys, so the reality is in Canada, income tax has become a scam. We should not be taxed for our productivity anymore because right now, productivity is not being rewarded. People are working their balls off, collecting a paycheck, and the government is taking 20 to 30% of it. And what are we getting in return? We have no future. The productive class has no future. The hardworking people have no future here in this country. So why are we paying 20 to 30% of our paychecks to the government when they're not even serving us properly? They're not looking out for us. You know why they're taking the money now, guys? Because we have to pay for the boomers' retirement. We have to pay for the aging in place. We have to pay for the failing healthcare system that we don't even have proper access to. Guys, I'm claiming it right now, guys. Income tax in Canada is a scam and it needs to go away. We need to eliminate income tax for the people and allow the productive people to be rewarded for their productivity again. If we eliminate income tax, we can change the way in which we tax the country. We can increase tax revenues through increasing consumption, right? We can change the way that we tax real estate. We can change the way that we tax underutilized land. We could change the way that we tax people speculating in real estate. We can change the way we tax capital gains. But one thing's for sure, guys, income tax can't be a part of Canada's tax system anymore. It doesn't work. It's holding people back from getting ahead in life. This is not fair. This is unjust. It's a scam, guys. The income tax scam must come to an end. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Should we eliminate the income tax, change the way we tax Canadians, and make Canada great again? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.
Here's a totally, definitely believable and real story that actually happened. Some families moving out of Canada because they only took home $37,000 after making $100,000 in salary, after paying income tax, tax, not sure what that is, spending tax, HST presumably, hidden tax 1, never heard of it, hidden tax 2, also never heard of it, and basic hidden taxes. So 3 hidden taxes? What are those? I mean, I finished 2 courses short of my CPA designation. I do my own taxes. I own my own company, so I pay my accountant to do my company taxes. But my own personal taxes, I literally have never heard of any of these things. Also, if you only take home $33,000 and you make $120K when we have a daycare benefit and a childcare benefit and all of these other things and deductions, You need a new accountant because that is unacceptable. Between these two families, woof.
What the fuck is the point in being taxed to death if we get no fucking services from it? Asking for a friend. Actually, I'm asking on behalf of all fucking Canadians in this god-forsaken fucking country. Fuck's sakes, I think people need to be more mad at this. I'm actually surprised at the amount of people that aren't pissed off about this. It's like the government, ultimately, at the end of the day, is a service. It is a service to the people. We pay them so that we can have healthcare, we can have police, we can have firefighters, we can have all of the other things that the Western world offers and people move here for and immigrate here for that we don't fucking have. What the fuck are we paying money for? What the fuck is the point? I just did my first year's corporate tax and I paid $5,000 to the fucking federal government, and it was like, where the fuck is that going? Like, what am I paying for? I have a family doctor and it takes me a week and a half to fucking book in with this guy. Like, a friend of mine had to go to the hospital a little while ago. They were there for 12 fucking hours. Nurses are on strike. Homelessness is rampant. It's like, what the fuck is the government doing with our money that we pay every fucking paycheck to these fuckers? Like, what the fuck are they doing with our fucking money? People need to be more mad at this, because it's like, if you hired someone in your house to do drywall, for example, and they did a piss poor fucking job, would you pay them? Would you fucking pay them? No, you tell them to get the fuck out and you would give them a bad review. So it's like, honestly, I think how we solve this, we just don't fucking pay taxes. I think we boycott taxes. Everybody gets on the fucking bandwagon and we boycott that shit. Fuck you. If you're not fucking doing the shit that we want, bye. I'm not fucking paying you a fucking cent. I don't know how we put that into action, but I think it's a great idea. This rant started because I was just casually scrolling our community page. We're renters, we live in an apartment, and someone was complaining about the potholes. Also, I've noticed the fucking potholes in Edmonton are just fucking bad. So bad. And someone in the comment section said, they're like, oh yeah, it's fucked up that the roads are so shitty in our neighborhood, and homeowner fees and property tax just went up. For what? You're gonna tax us? Oh yeah, there's we're gonna raise the taxes a bit, but we're not gonna fix your roads. We're not gonna use your money that you're putting in our bank account for you. We're gonna just, send that over to wherever the fuck, or just print it into oblivion and devalue everyone's money because no one knows about monetary manipulation, but we won't talk about that because we don't want the people to know. This shit pisses me off. And it's like, how is no one else fucking mad at this? Like, how are we actually collectively not fucking just riled up and rioting about this shit? Makes me mad. How is no one else mad? This is fucking stupid. I don't want to pay the government another fucking cent. Taxes are a fucking scam. The government has been inflated way too long, it's way too big, and they don't give a fuck about our money and how they're spending it. They'll spend it however the fuck they want, and they won't tell people. I read an article like a few weeks ago about how BC spent $3.6 billion on like a climate initiative for like net zero, and it just it didn't do anything. They spent $3.6 billion, and it's just gone. Are you fucking kidding me? How are people not pissed? Oh, also, whoever came up with the pet license fee or the pet license bullshit in Edmonton is a fucking con artist. Fuck you, city member, whoever came up with that one. That is such a fucking joke. Are you kidding me? We have to pay a pet license now? Oh, but don't worry, it goes towards maintaining the parks. It goes towards making sure that the parks are nice for you. Oh, I'm sorry, have you been to Terwilliger lately? You could launch Elon's next fucking rocket ship off of the goddamn fucking potholes at that place. What fucking money is going towards our parks? Please, educate me, because I am confused. Anyways, taxes are a fucking con. They actually weren't even supposed to be, we're not supposed to be taxed. Every tax that we pay was supposed to be temporary after the war. Why the fuck are we still paying that shit? What the fuck? So anyways, fuck taxes, fuck the government, fuck CRA, fuck everybody, fuck all of them. They're fucking con artists. It's a fucking Ponzi scheme. It's a cartel, actually. The fucking central bank, it's a cartel. It's That's what it is. It's a fucking joke. We shouldn't even be paying them. Fuck them. They're doing a lousy fucking job lately, ladies and gentlemen. They need to fucking go. Time to go. You're done. You're canceled. You're over. You haven't done a very good job. You're fucking done. Get the fuck out of here.
And it's embarrassing. One thing, and this is just, it drives me bonkers. The fact that our finance minister in Canada is like literally yesterday was posting and bragging about how we're cutting interest rates the fastest. It shows you how out of touch with economics and finance she is. It's embarrassing that she is the finance minister. I mean, the fact that we are having half, like they're considered jumbo rate cuts, means that our economy is in horrible shape. And the factor is that even if you look at our municipal people that pay taxes in the city, it's going up at a very steep rate, right? And we're getting taxed to death. So I don't know. I find it interesting. I find it interesting that we have crown corporations with 55,000 employees that are striking when we're in this environment where most people are like struggling just to get by.
I think Canada is in such bad shape. I mean, even compared to all the G7 countries.
Well, that's what she was bragging about, that we were the quickest in the G7 countries. I'm like, do you realize how detrimental this is? So,
hey friends, how's everybody doing? Today is 100% a total rant day because I don't know how much longer Canadians can keep doing what we're doing. I don't even know how people are doing what they're doing. We seen on the news yesterday that credit card default is at an all-time high in Canada and mortgage defaults are an all-time high. So in our house, it's my husband, myself. We have a 23-year-old, almost 19-year-old, almost 15-year-old, and my dad lives with us. So we're a family of 6. I just picked up groceries and we got, I think it was something like 62 items and it came to $280. That's not including meat for the week. That's not including fruits and vegetables. That's just groceries, milk, bread, stuff like that. Because we are a family of 6, so I get that. On average now, my grocery bill has gone from $200 a week with everything pre-COVID to we pay well now with meat, fruits, veggies, almost $400 a week. It's doubled in 4 years. And when I see Fortinos and Loblaws with their, millions of dollars of quarterly profit, it makes me sick. And we start talking about our kids about this stuff because especially my 23-year-old, he knows he'll probably never be able to afford to move out of our house. I don't know how he's going to do it. He works full-time and has a good job. But the price of everything. And then I got this and I just was ready to scream. This is my gas bill. This is what we use to heat my house. And we have a gas stove. My gas I used was $23. Add the delivery charge, the federal carbon charge, the gas supply charge, the cost adjustment. I would love to know what this really is $133.62. Add HST, $150.99 for a $23.98 bill. That's all I used. That's what I used in gas. But my bill's $150.99. I don't know how Canadians are going to keep doing this. I don't know how families are going to keep doing this. We're lucky. Roof over my head, food in my cupboards, and we're lucky. There's so many people. The homelessness is just, it breaks my heart. You see on TV all the time, there's encampments all through the city where we live. My son started looking at moving out. A 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment condo, $499. Let's be clear, 1-bedroom, 1-bath. This isn't like granite countertop, nothing fancy. We would have to rip up the carpet. It was carpet all for $499. It is something that should maybe be like $200, $250. I just don't know how much longer Canadians are going to continue to do this. Federal government, provincial government, they really need to do something. We are being taxed to death as a country. Literally taxed to death. Property taxes, these kinds of taxes, gas in the city I live in right now in Hamlet, southwestern Ontario, is $1.57 a liter. $1.57 a liter. That's just insane. And it's only going to be going up because we know on April 1st, the carbon charge is going up another, I think, 23%. So that's going to be even higher. This bill for the federal charge will be over $40 a month on a $23 bill. How can it be almost double on a bill? I don't know what we're supposed to do anymore. I know Canadians just can't take it. You see it on TikTok, you see it on Twitter, you see it on Facebooks, the rants, the posts. And our government's just, they have their heads up their asses. There's no way around it. And something's got to give. I don't know what we got to do as a country, but this can't continue. It just can't. Anyways, I just want to jump on. End of rant. Just talking with my kids today, it makes me so sad. The trips, all of that has just stopped. And on top of that, I have Lyme disease, as you know, and I have to pay out of pocket for my appointments because we don't have coverage here in Ontario. OHIP doesn't cover Lyme appointments, so I know that's a bill coming up. That's another $1,700 to get me through for another 9 months. Like, I don't know how we're supposed to keep doing it. There's no go. Remember, it was Freedom 55. Now it's like Freedom 75 if you're lucky. You literally work your whole life to die. And Canada really needs to do something about it. So, end of rant. I just so frustrated today talking with my kids. So, have a good day, folks. And let's see if maybe, I don't know, suggestions, ideas?
Let's face it, this system was never built to make life easier. It was built to sustain itself. And who sustains it? We do. The everyday Canadians who pay into it, trust it, and get crushed by it. They tell us taxes are the price of civilization. But when hospitals are understaffed, roads are crumbling, and people can't afford groceries, what exactly are we paying for? Because it feels less like civilization and more like survival. Canadians are told to be proud taxpayers, but pride doesn't fill your fridge. Pride doesn't keep the lights on. Pride doesn't pay rent. And somehow, after paying for everything, we still owe more. More taxes, more fees, more contributions. The harder we work, the deeper we sink. The system rewards the rich, those with loopholes, offshore accounts, and expensive lawyers, while the middle and working class are left to carry the entire load. You don't have to be an economist to see what's happening. It's a transfer of power, from those who earn it to those who exploit it. And when we finally rest, when we pass on what little we've built to our kids, the government comes knocking again. Death tax, they call it. Imagine that. Even in death, you can't escape the bill. But here's the truth. This isn't just about money. It's about freedom. It's about dignity. Because when every part of your life, from your paycheck to your grave, is owned by someone else, what's left for you? That's not how a nation built on hard work and fairness should look. Canadians have had enough. Enough of being milked, blamed, and ignored. Enough of being told we should be grateful while billion-dollar corporations pay less tax than nurses and truck drivers. This isn't jealousy. It's justice. It's time we demand accountability, real transparency, and leadership that remembers who they serve. Because the real strength of Canada has never come from government halls. It's come from the people. From you. From us. The taxpayers. The builders. The ones holding